say you're quite the trend spotter. 2 weeks ago, you asked me that you suggested we do a podcast on Labubu. And I said, it's such a stupid toy. Why are we talking about it? Next, we'll be doing a podcast on Pokemon. And then, my God, it exploded my timeline. It's really become quite a thing.
I know, and I'm having FOMO because I don't have a Labubu.
Oh, please. I will not allow you to get a Labubu.
I need a Labubu to dangle off my bag.
Why? And the tribe signaling that I belong to a community
of insane people who are spending insane amounts of money to collect these stupid plushies which mean nothing but just show that you're a kid adult.
Yeah, adults are buying it more than teenagers, in fact.
Absolutely, and there are people our age and around our age who are buying it, standing in queues, getting into queue at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. In fact, someone posted about someone queuing up from 12 midnight, and they said if you wake up at 4 in the morning, because all these H&M, H&M, and they ties up with big designers, and they open their stores as limited edition, so they've tied up with Kenzo, with Sabyasachi, and so those kind of things one can understand that the stores open and people queue up before that, or a new iPhone. But people are queuing up from the previous night for one stupid toy which is actually being retailed by Pop Mart, this Chinese company, for about $23 to $30. But resellers are buying it by the dozens and reselling it for $100, $200, $300, $1,200.
Even some special ones are even going for up to $4,000.
I really want to understand. Okay, maybe we should tell our audience what the Labubu is.
Yeah. This is a part of the Monster collection of toys retailed by Pop Mart. It was designed by a gentleman whose name you remember and I don't.
Kasing Lung, who is a Hong Kong-based comic artist.
He designed it.
On some Nordic folklore.
Which he got inspired from his childhood growing up in the Netherlands.
I see.
And these are these elves, gremlins, whatever you call them.
Yes, they look like gremlins.
And the Labubus are female, they're feminine, supposedly.
Oh, yeah, no. So Labubu has no tail, and that's a female, and the one with the tail is some male.
That's
called
something else.
My God, I know more than I should. My mind space, I should not be allotting to Labubu.
But I mean, it's fascinating the way pop culture just took off with these things dangling from very expensive bags. They started with Lisa of Blackpink, who put it on her Louis Vuitton, I think, and called it My Baby. Then Rosé, also from Blackpink. Then we had Rihanna. We had Dua Lipa. I don't know who else now. And it's become like the modern Jane Birkin bag, where she put all sorts of things on her Birkin and used one bag to death.
Yeah.
Before getting another one.
Unlike the current collectors of the Birkin bags. Kiran, this isn't the first time that, an insignificant object has become a collectible, and it's caught up with a trend because in the 70s, I believe there was something called pet rock.
Yeah, there was pet rock.
And then there was a Cabbage Patch doll, which was at least a sizable, really cute doll. And parents used to murder each other at toy stores because they had to sort of wrestle for that one doll left on the shelf. So I think it is human tendency to want to belong to a community. And I think it's that signaling that, we belong together. Mm-hmm. But the way it has caught on now, because of social media, clearly, and there are more celebrities who have wider platforms. Mm-hmm. So now it has reached a level of insanity, I would say, in terms of the kind of business this has done. Can you just...
Yeah, the business is incredible, and also the collector's craze. There were fist fights breaking out at Pop Mart recently, and they had to stop sales and shut down the store.
My God.
Yeah, that's what's been happening. I'll just tell you about the stats for this.
Yeah.
Some of them I said
it was introduced in 2019, so the stats will include up until now, I would imagine.
Yeah, the current stats.
Current stats, yeah.
Okay, so some of them, as I said, sell for around $4,000 in the resale market. Over $400 million worth of Labubus have been sold. Okay. Pop Mart, the seller, saw its share price rise by 535% in a single year.
My God.
Okay. And right now it's at 37 billion market. 37 billion market cap. Wow, for these little plushy dolls.
This is what I'm saying. And also, by the way, on the one hand, there's a recession at our doorstep. And on the other hand, people are now collecting Labubus in large numbers.
But the Labubu is the lipstick of our recession.
It is.
It is the lipstick. It is the little thing that gives us joy, which doesn't really make our eyes water in terms of paying for it.
Yeah, it's like in India, you told me it's selling for 6,000 in India, 3 to
Yeah,
6,000,
yeah.
and I guess it's probably more easily available here, but the trend has caught on here as well.
It is, and you get a lot of fakes also. You get a lafufu,
Lafufu, yeah,
which
that's
is
a
the
Labubu
fake.
fake.
That's the official fake of
Listen,
a
I find
labubu.
pop culture so fascinating. But you know what it is, Kiran, that a lot of times you'll see people during times of strife will start repeat watching a favorite show from their childhood, a comfort show. So I think the psychological reason behind a trend like this, and this is the biggest trend we've seen of a collectible, which is cute in nature, affordable, in the past 3 decades. The kind of craze and frenzy we've seen now is unprecedented in that sense. And I think that so one of those things is that when your present is fragile and the future looks very uncertain, then you reach for the past to comfort yourself. You reach for your inner child, and you buy something as a pacifier for your inner child.
Okay.
Other people are doing it too. So in a generation that is increasingly disconnected from each other, it causes a false sense of connection. So it's actually dread uh, wrapped up as dopamine, because buying it gives you a dopamine kick. You can't choose a color of a Labubu. It comes in a pouch.
There's
It's
no
a surprise.
Yeah, there's
you,
no
you tear it
telling.
open and you pull it out, and then you're like, oh my god, I got the same color again, so I have to go and buy more.
So this sort of reminds me of, the McDonald's Happy Meal and Kinder Joy, where, the kids would drive you mad to get one of those, and then you got what they didn't want and you had to buy another one
Yeah.
to get exactly what they wanted. So it's the same premise for adults now, I guess.
See, there was no hyper consumerism there when we were buying the Macca's meal for our children. They just preferred that compared to now. At least I don't remember my kids going and saying, I want the next Macca's meal just to collect a toy.
Mine did.
Oh, it was happening? So then I
Yeah.
have girls, so it's different. Yeah.
So it was like
It's
pretty-
almost like we have different species of children.
children.
It's like I have a cat, you have a dog.
Dog,
Yeah, so cats were not buying all this, but
That's
maybe
it.
dogs.
The dog was buying. And how? So
Okay, yeah.
it's basically that. And for some of them, I mean, I have a friend, she's in her early 40s. She goes buying Labubu simply for the joy of hunting them down.
This is a dopamine chase.
This
That's
is
what I'm
just it.
saying. People are chasing dopamine because, see, we are also living. Okay, so when you live in a hyper stimulated world, but you're still lonely and undernourished. Undernourished emotionally, right? Because we are so busy. I don't think we sit and allow ourselves to feel bored even for a minute. There's constant some activity going on. Thanks in no small measure to social media. So when that is happening, your dopamine is dropping. You're thinking, what is the next thing that I can do to reach for it? So one is that. And I think the other is, this whole self-healing. So consumerism has hijacked healing.
Okay.
Because now they're saying you need the Labubu to heal your inner child, or you need this Stanley Cup to heal your inner child. Okay, there's constantly buy this to heal your inner child. I mean, of course, enough cosmetics and all the Glossier, those are at least about an outer appearance. But buying a cute thing is what you're taking care of your inner child. It's your inner child that wants a cute thing.
So these bags, which I see them carrying around, where you can't actually see the bags because
I know,
they're so
8 Labubus on them.
they're just drenched with labubus.
I think then it's also a flex that I have more than you, which is why I wonder when they're saying that this is the lipstick of this generation in terms of recession being
Upon us, yeah.
yeah. If people are buying it in such large numbers and from resellers, then maybe it goes beyond that.
It is kid adulting. It is healing the inner child. It is an inner circle flex. It is also
that-
consumerism.
A tribal,
Yeah,
a marker.
Yeah.
That we all belong to the same tribe because everyone wants to belong. But today, no one belongs because they have no time to invest in relationships. You see, family life is frayed because of therapists.
Therapy. Our pet peeve, we come back to this.
Yeah, Kiran and I keep sending forwards to each other and articles to each other about how therapy is ruining children in this generation and isolating them. And marriages too, by the way. So, yeah.
So the therapists are going to take out little voodoo dolls and stick
yes,
pins
stick
in them.
pins in them. So then there's this sense of isolation and not belonging. because of too much individualism. And then you're doing all those things that you feel will make you connect with people, but the real things that make you connect with people are real face-to-face conversations,
Which aren't
not
happening.
hiding behind identities online and building these false personas for yourself and then talking to each other. So that is the simpler solution than chasing Labubu, unboxing it, and then either getting disappointed or delirious with joy and then going into the next one.
I first came across the Labubu a couple of years ago, actually. It was on Instagram. There's this Indonesian handle called Super Cool Ben. He's pretends to be a billionaire's son, and he was trying to collect Labubus for his girlfriends. And back then I was like, okay, now what are these? If he's a billionaire, why is it so precious to collect these little things for a girlfriend? Why is it? And since then I've seen it is not just
The tempo's gone up.
the tempo has gone up. It's not just somebody who's a billionaire who's giving it. It's ordinary everyday people who are running around to get it. And
So it's looking like the De Beers diamond is a sign of love.
apparently,
Yeah, you know how diamonds were marketed,
huh.
right?
And now, of course, they've gone to the extreme of saying natural, buy natural.
Because obviously there's
lab grown.
Yeah,
Nonsense.
but their ship is sinking. That's why.
But do you think we should test our husband's love by asking them to get us a Labubu?
No, please, no. I will not buy one of those ugly things.
You
Kiran,
must
there are
hang it on your Birkin.
Yeah. Kiran, I'm also anti-Birkin. I hope you know that. No, anything that is a demand-supply game, I'm against that. Birkin is a demand-supply game. I don't even think it's a good-looking bag. It's really heavy. If you want to carry a laptop in it and go to work in it, then I get it completely. But if it's just a lunch bag, I don't know. Even my smaller bags, I don't know what to put in them. Sunglasses, one lipstick, one phone.
And one credit card.
Yeah, and if you're traveling, yeah, okay, fine. It's good to like sit on a flight and have your stuff in it. But I know of this woman that every time she travels on a plane, a friend of mine has told me that she pulls out the duster bag of her bag, not just her Birkin, but any designer bag. She puts a duster bag, wraps up in it, and then puts it in the overhead bin.
Oh, Mother of Christ.
But I mean, you're
does she
paying so
have a
much for
Labubu
it.
hanging on it?
I bet she does. I mean, this is the thing. Everyone who's a victim of this great marketing ploy. Also, it talks about the loneliness of people. So, I mean, it's also a sad commentary, frankly.
It's absolutely a sad commentary, because if you're investing so much time, effort, and energy chasing these little plushy toys, then A, you either don't have too much to do with your life.
Yeah.
B, you don't have anything else to invest in emotionally except for these toys.
Yeah.
No people, no friends.
No, people who have friends are also doing it, Kiran. That's what I'm saying. It's not the bicharas of the world who are going for Labubus only.
It's the people you think are perfectly well settled also.
I think people are just not thinking. It's the same people who bought the Stanley Cup. I didn't get it, did you?
Never.
Don't lie.
I don't have a Stanley
okay.
Cup. Why should I have a Stanley Cup? I have water
kid.
bottles.
Kiran,
bottles.
the other day, Rania, younger one, asked my husband, he was going overseas, and she said, can you get me a jelly cat? Now, she loves stuffed toys. She always has. And she hates spending money. So if you tell her, can I buy you a pair of designer shoes, or can I buy you this? She'll say, no, it costs too much money.
So sweet.
It's damn sweet. So she said, can you get me a jelly cat? So he said, what nonsense is this? You have so many stuffed toys. What do you mean a jelly cat? So she got really upset. She said, I never asked for anything except for a toy. And it's like a $30 toy. So he was trying to explain to her that it's not a $30 thing. You already have enough toys. Then I was curious. I said, show me, I'll get it for you. They were such cute toys, these jelly cats. If you look at the website, of course, it's again my inner child, but I'm not buying it because it's a trend. I haven't bought it, by the way. I'm not getting it because it's a trend. It's not something to flex about, at least at my age. Children are getting it, but it actually looks cute. And there again, these 30-pound, 35, it's a British company, I think 40-pound toy, rabbits and hedgehogs and all sorts of cushy toys basically.
Nice.
But those it has always been, that buying stuffed toys has always been like a child thing, and sometimes even an adult thing.
Yeah, you do have that, but this whole cult of collectors.
That cult of collectors.
So you have people who would collect all these baseball cards.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards. When we were young, we would collect stamps and coins.
Yeah. But Kiran, stamps and coins at least added to your understanding and knowledge about geography and history.
This adds to your understanding of pop culture, I
This
guess.
is about just spending. I think anything that requires spending money as a means of collection, at least I don't get that. It's different if you're an art collector or a jewelry collector because you're buying a certain vintage piece. Not those things.
And that has
not those
resale
things of value.
value.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just talking about these mindless things.
Having said that, look at the sneaker collectors. My son is a sneakerhead, so I
Yeah.
know, and your hubby too. There are pairs that are for wearing and there are pairs for keeping.
Yeah.
And I don't get that. What is the joy in keeping something and not wearing because it's a limited edition? Why would you do that?
So your husband also collects sneakers?
My husband happily wears sneakers, which my son buys.
Or they're the same shoe size?
Yeah, like half a size different. Now, the son bought a pair of Onitsuka Tigers, which was a limited edition, and it has some fancy tag on it,
Right.
which says it's a limited edition. And the husband wore it and got irritated with that tag, and he cut it off.
Oh, that tag is a part of the aesthetic.
And my son
Off-White had
freaked
that.
out. He
Oh,
freaked
no.
out. And Kirit was like, what difference does it make? It was so irritating. It was just hanging around there. That you ruined it. The whole value of this is
Yeah,
gone.
those off-white shoes came with that plastic loop tag. That was meant to be a part of the aesthetic of the shoe.
But obviously, my husband didn't get the aesthetic.
Yeah, he thought tag reh gaya iske
Tag
upar.
reh gaya.
But my husband and I are the same shoe size.
Lovely.
And no, lovely no. So he keeps saying, you can't wear my shoes, you'll stretch them out. Like, who says that to a woman? And so there's this particular limited edition Nike shoe in which my feet look small compared to the usual platypus kind of look that my feet have. So he has a bunch of those shoes. He's bought them in many colors. He's also buying them from the reseller market since the last 5-6 years. And so when I was going when I was going to Dubai with him, I realized at the airport that I haven't packed a pair of going out sneakers, just workout kids. So I said, oh damn, I forgot to pack my sneakers. So he was in Dubai, I'm on the phone with him. So I said, I'm just, instead of buying another pair, I'll just borrow yours. He said, no, you can't borrow mine because you're going to stretch them out and you're going to make them dirty. So I said, are you mad? Like in Dubai, nothing gets dirty.
Nothing gets dirty.
So I said, and I'm not going to stretch them out. My feet aren't that big. We're the exact same size. You know what he did, Kiran? He went and took all his shoes and went and put them away in his office. So I couldn't wear his shoes.
I hope you bought a new pair and a limited edition.
No, I mean, the thing is, ultimately, the revenge is on the planet, not on him. The planet is dying. I don't want to buy that one more thing. Now, he called me from London. He went to the Onitsuka store, and there are these really shiny shoes.
Which
shiny blue, shiny
shiny
gold,
red.
shiny silver, shiny red.
With shiny
green.
red and shiny blue, which we have already bought.
Oh, so when I think Krish and Shravan need to hang out because Shravan sent me a picture of those shiny blue shoes from there, and I told them,
Like
no.
Like you will get out of a storm. They will spot you if you're lost in the forest.
Earth calling.
Yeah, totally.
So he said, well, I'm getting them. Do you want a pair? So I was about to say we'll share. Then I said, no, that's not going to happen.
But the pink ones are decent. You should have told him get the
No,
pink ones.
there was a bronze one also. So the gold, there was a gold which would have been Sindhi auntie from Dubai. Then there was a bronze one, which I thought I liked, but it's sort of years between midlife crisis. So I was saying the bronze one is also very highly metallic, so it does scream can scream midlife crisis. So I said no. And actually, I don't want that one more thing because someone else is getting or won't share with me because again, I just feel this is over consumerism.
Mm-hmm. But revenge is also sweet, na? If he's not letting you wear his shoes and hiding them in his office.
Yeah. He said every time you come to Dubai, so I told him one day I'm going to just give you a surprise visit and you will see me walking around in your shoes. Kiran, I've seen people giving Labubus, facials, spas, massages, doing their makeup.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And I've read of an entire industry on Etsy and wherever with Labubu outfits to match your Lululemons, so you can be matching with your Labubu. Whatever. I mean, whatever rocks your boat. But I think
this is like that crybaby trend. There was a baby trend where you could buy this baby that would cry and you had to feed it every few hours.
It's
some
a
baby
thumb.
food and it would poop.
Okay, so that's an actual doll because there was a Tamagotchi which used to do that. You had to keep the Tamagotchi alive and feed it, and it was a digital toy.
And there was a Furby.
Furby.
Furby also. But they didn't catch on the way this Labubu has got on. Just our friend Prachi just mentioned something called Bubu Jaan.
Bubu Jan, which is so cute. A Labubu dressed
Nikah
in
ke jode mein Bubu Jaan.
so cute.
Can you predict the next trend?
See, there's Labubus, there's been Stanley Cups, there's been.
No, what's been in the past?
Huh.
Now, what do you think is coming next? Zeitgeist.
Heaven knows. It'll be some ugly piece of jewelry. I think it'll be furry clawed toed shoes. Because
Wow.
people are going mad. They're collecting any rubbish. So I wouldn't put that past them.
Okay, chalo.